Somebody reply me back. Okay, chalo. So we'll start in just few minutes. Okay. Wait for everyone to join. Start in few minutes. Okay, so we will start with the basic revision, okay, that we have done in the last lecture, okay. So, yes, what we have done in the last lecture, we have discussed in the last lecture about the switching system. Okay, there are some important instructions are also there regarding the exam, but once everyone join, then I will give such instruction. Okay, before that, let me do the quick revision on previous lecture. And what we have discussed in a previous lecture, we have discussed about the switching systems. Okay, there are basically three type of the switching systems we have: circuit switch, packet switch, and we can say hybrid type of the switch we have. Okay, that we can say message oriented switch also we can say like that. So what are the basic stuff related to switching? Why the switching is required? To just connect a different mode of the I can say network modules, okay, which will do the successful data transmission from one place to another place. We can say like that we are having the intermediate connections that we need to do in a such a manner that source and destination will send the message. Okay, so if we are doing this intermediate connection between multiple routing devices or between multiple networking devices permanently, okay, yes, yes. Until and unless if your communication is not going to complete, okay, जब तक आपका communication complete नहीं होता, तब तक ये जो आपने communication, जो connection, हाँ जी, अगर बेसी जाओ ना, okay. So up to the time where you are not completing your communication, जब तक आप अपना communication खत्म नहीं करते हो, तब तक वो connection, whatever the establishment of that connection you have done initially, it is remain same. So we can say source is going to be allocated permanently until and unless you are not completing your communication. So the example of such type of the switching will be your telephone network, telephone system, which required such type of the permanent connection to exchange the information. While the internet is going to be considered as a not a circuit switch, it's a packet switch. So what it will do under the packet switch, whatever the message you want to send from one place to another place, that message is divided into the packets. And the size of that packet is going to vary as per the network condition. If the network condition is, I can say that having a higher bandwidth or that resource is available, so that packet size is going to large, otherwise it is a small. So there are a variable length of the packet is going to be added, and it is going to be transmitted according to the traffic scenario is there. Okay, so such type of the system that we have discussed in the circuit switch and packet switch, as well as we have discussed about the virtual circuit network, that how the virtual circuit identifier is there, how virtual circuit network is going to be used, what are the combination of I can say circuit switch and packet switch, both are available. Like we can say initially for establishment of the connection, it's going to be packet switch based network. After that, it is going to be a circuit switch network. So how it will do those type of the setup phase, that particular process we have discussed so far. Okay. Now coming back to the new content about the topic related to the telephone networks. Now we are going to discuss more about the communication protocols. Okay, like communication protocol associated with the wireless communication, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. Okay, we can say related to infrared, telephone network, such type of the different type of the technology that we are going to discuss now onwards. So first topic in this different technology, which is the telephone network. So telephone network uses circuit switching. As I have told you, it is required the permanent connection. जब तक आपका कॉल खत्म नहीं होता, तब तक आपको एक बैंड allocate करना ही पड़ता है टेलीफोन कंपनी को. And the technique is come under the circuit switching. So the telephone network uses the circuit switching. The telephone network has its beginning in the late 1800s. The entire network, which is referred to as a POTS, plain old telephone system, was originally an analog system using an analog signal to transmit the voice. Okay, there is a very kind of the huge history behind this telephone network and all type of the communication. Okay, why is it so? Initially, it is started with there are very interesting stories also over there, and why this telephone network, that innovation is going to just accepted by the world. That major event which is behind to adopt this or required such type of a technology, it is a sinking the Titanic. Everybody has seen the Titanic movie, and that movie was great, scene was great, everything was great, but there are one of the main technology related like invention. We can say like that necessity is a mother of invention. At that time, the they are using a telegraphy, that we can say that Morse code base. Like if you have heard such type of the code like so that code is a Morse code communication. So in the Titanic, there are a specific engineers are there, team of engineers are there. They are doing the communication from Titanic to the rest of the world about the different message sent by those rich people. Okay, so originally हुआ क्या उस टाइम पे कि वो टाइटेनिक पे जितने भी बड़े बड़े सब पैसे वाले लोग थे, ये शिप कभी नहीं डूब सकती. So everybody is on just like so entire kind of the rich communities, it is showing off. सब लोग एक ही मैसेज भेजने के लाइक मैं अभी टाइटेनिक में हूँ, ये है ये है. सब लोग अपना शो ऑफ करने के लिए पूरी दुनिया में वो मोर्स कोड से मैसेज भेज रहे थे. इसको मैसेज भेज, इसको मैसेज. In that same duration, they have missed those important communication that is sent by the other ship. Like there are a very big glaciers are there. You be aware of that one. लेकिन वो बंदा उससे फुर्सत ही नहीं मिली थी कि इसके ऊपर थोड़ा बहुत ध्यान दे. और suddenly the glacier came, entire Titanic was sink, and at that time they have got the idea like some technology must be invented, okay, to do the fast or kind of the voice communication, so it is having a good impact. आप किसी को लिख के मैसेज भेजो या टेलीफोन उठाओ और आप बात करो, its impact going to be a different. And then there is a next technology came as a mobile communication. Initially from IBM की एक office में is a kind of the secretly people are developing such type of the mobile phone. और जैसे ही वो मोबाइल फोन का पहला कॉल उन लोगों ने क्या किया, IBM की ऑफिस से बाहर निकलकर उसके जो सीईओ थे, उसने वो टेलीफोन लेके वो सड़कों पे चले, and he is doing the communication from this mobile to his competitor. तो उसके साथ ये मोबाइल बनाने का कुछ डिस्कस था. उसके टेलीफोन में उसने कॉल किया कि right now I am talking from the first mobile phone in the entire world. So that particular day is becoming the created a history. सब लोगों ने न्यूज में छापा, IBM ने पहला फोन बनाया. There are such huge type of the phone. ईंट नहीं होती इतना बड़ा फोन लेके पूरे, like in the previously in very IAS IPS officer of India and in the British Raj also they are using such type of the mobile phone, but it is very big. इतना मोटा ईंट जैसा. तो अब तो एक क्या बड़ी सी फाइल नहीं, ऐसे बैग झोला उठा के ऐसा उसका सेटअप था. बट इट इज स्टार्टेड विद द काइंड ऑफ द नेसेसिटी. भाई ये चीज चाहिए, कैसे हम बिना तार के बात कर सकते हैं. सो दिस ऑल आर काइंड ऑफ द ग्रेट इन्वेंशन वी हैव. एंड whatever this wireless communication is there, before that this POTS, plain old telephone systems are there. Whatever the technology what is invented so far, it is always first dedicated for the आर्मी और मिलिट्री. ठीक है, आर्मी और मिलिट्री के लिए कुछ चीज चाहिए था, लोगों ने इन्वेंशन किया, बाद में उसको कॉमर्शियलाइज किया फॉर द लोकल पब्लिक. Okay, so whatever the internet is there, so internet is started with the ARPA. There are some project is there. Okay, US का एक प्रोजेक्ट था ये डेटा शेयर करने के लिए, उसमें से बाद में इंटरनेट बना. We are just connected with that. So that started with such. So what are the stuff that we need to discuss in the telephone network? What are the major components? What are the terminology of LATA? What do you mean by signaling? Which type of the signaling is there? Service provided by the telephone network. Okay, some of the topic we need to discuss in that one. How many participants are there? Still only 94 participants. Okay, not an issue. Let me announce that stuff. This Saturday, today is a Tuesday. I'm just give you the 6 days of time. On Saturday, you have a unit test one. Saturday there is a no regular academic. So either from 9 to 11 or from 11 to 1. We are preferable doing that 9 to 11 type of the timing we are going to set. That exam is going to be a unit test one of the DCN. Okay. Syllabus and all the stuff that we are going to give you today. आज आपको शाम तक मेल मिल जाएगा, कैनवास में अनाउंसमेंट भी मिल जाएगा. व्हाट इज योर प्रिपेयरिंग गाइडलाइन. यू कैन एक्सपेक्ट आउट ऑफ आवर 9 चैप्टर, near about 4 to 5 chapters are there. We will limit it to 4, but if some content is going to require to add more, we will go with the 5. But from the syllabus, first 5 chapter you need to consider as of now. 5 chapter आपको करने हैं. Exam is on the open book exam. You need not to come to give in a college. It is a online based exam. आपने BEE or DCN, BEE or DE में exam दी है. Like there are instruction is there. There are open book exam is there. So you must need to on your camera. Okay, and that camera must be visible for the entire duration of your examination. That you should not access any mobile phone or any type of the electronic gadget during the examination. But you can keep with you any number of book, assignment, whatever the printout material, it is allowed to you. Okay, आप कितने भी मटेरियल, टेक्स्ट बुक, नोटबुक, प्रिंटिंग मटेरियल कुछ भी रख सकते हो, बट आप इलेक्ट्रॉनिक गैजेट यूज नहीं कर सकते हो. यू नीड टू कीप कंटिन्यूअसली ऑन योर कैमरा. Paper will be available on the canvas on the same time. It's available for everyone. There are 2 hours of time. In that 2 hours, I'm saying very clearly, वो 2 घंटे के अंदर एक्चुअली 50 मार्क का पेपर होता है. So for the 50 mark of the paper, you are having 100 minutes is enough. Okay, as per the examination guideline, double of time you need to give. Like आपका 30 घंटे का एग्जाम होता है तो कितना टाइम मिलता है? We can say 75 minutes. Okay, so according to that, whatever the time duration we have, 2 minutes and a half, whatever the things we have, according to that, we will give you the time slot, as well as we will give you a 20 to 25 minutes to scan your answer book and upload it into the canvas. Now, in that 25 minutes, this time, I'm not going to open it for anybody. If you miss in terms of submitting the stuff, if you have done nothing, like, it is your fault. Because every time, sir, mera baki reh gaya. So we are giving an extra 25 minute time to do all those, scan the page, make a PDF, upload it to the canvas. ये सब करने में 5 मिनट लगता है. तो बाकी की 20 मिनट आप इंटरनेट चेक करके अपलोड करके कर सकते हो. आपका वीडियो कंटिन्यूअसली ऑन है, मैं आपको देख सकता हूं, तो आपके इंटरनेट में खामी नहीं है. Okay, every time we are observing that out of the 400 students, more than 350 students will submit without any complaint. There are a very few students are there, they are saying, sir, nahi ho raha hai, nahi ho raha hai. Simple answer of those, all the query, log out from the canvas, log in again, submit again. It is available for that particular 25 minutes of the time. नहीं हो रहा है, इंटरनेट बंद करके चालू करिए, घर में मम्मी पापा का फोन है, उसमें स्पीड अच्छा हो रहा है, उससे कनेक्शन कर लीजिए 25 मिनट तक. एक बार आपका एग्जाम खत्म हो गया, वीडियो विल बी ऑफ, यू आर फ्री टू अपलोड दैट स्टफ इन द नेक्स्ट 25 मिनट. उसके अंदर सब लोगों का वो आंसर सीट कैनवास में चढ़ जाना चाहिए. बाद में ऐसा नहीं सर हो गया और 10 मिनट का, तो नहीं भाई. यू कैन कंसीडर देयर आर अ जीरो एंड दैट्स. कभी आप एग्जाम देने जाते हो, एग्जामिनर बोले लिखना बंद करो, पेपर मुझे दे दो, बाद में बोलते हो सर मैं केबिन में देके जाऊंगा, अभी लाओ मेरे को लिखने दो. नहीं होता, तो थोड़ा तो आपको ऑनलाइन पे भी स्ट्रिक्ट रहना पड़ेगा. उस टाइम तो पेपर छीन ही लेते, फिर स्टिल गिविंग अ टाइम टू स्कैन एंड ऑल. 5 minutes of time, still we are giving a 20-minute extra, so 25-minute type of the stop we are giving for you. And as per the tradition of digital and basic electronics, this paper does not require a very long answer. हम कभी अपना ओपन बुक का पेपर ऐसा रखते ही नहीं है कि उसमें आपको 3-4 पेज भर के लिखना पड़े तब जाके उसका आंसर मिले. नहीं, that a 7-mark question, or we can say any 6-mark question, you can solve it in a 1 page only. Majority of the questions आपके ऐसे होंगे. कंपैरेटिव एनालिसिस पूछा है, कोई प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट दिया है, उसका आंसर एक पेज में लिखो, 3-4 पेज भरने की. तो ऐसा नहीं कि आपका सप्लीमेंट्री 50 मार्क के लिए 50 पेज का सप्लीमेंट्री भर के तो लिखने में टाइम लगा. You somehow need to manage. We are not giving insisting on fulfilling or filling the number of pages large. कि 50 मार्क का पेपर है तो 40 पेज तो लिखने ही लिखने हैं. You can finish it on 10 pages, 15 pages. Answer must be correct and to the point. You can write it in a point wise also. Like this is a first point answer, second point answer, third point answer, like that. Okay? So don't just be a fast during the examination. Don't just sit ideal. और टाइम ड्यूरेशन में बोला है ये टाइम पे खत्म होना चाहिए, तो सबको उसी टाइम पे ही खत्म करना है. बाद में मैं एक्स्ट्रा टाइम ओपन नहीं करूंगा. अगर आपको इंटरनेट 2-3 रखने हैं वो 2 घंटे के लिए, तो आजू बाजू वाले जो भी आपके फ्रेंड है, पेरेंट्स है, साथ में बैठे हो, तो इंटरनेट एक एक्स्ट्रा रखो. इसमें से कनेक्शन चला गया तो इससे हो सकता है. Okay, we are going to establish the control room in our one of the laboratory. There are several PCs are there. From those PC, different faculty are observing your activity. So if it is find out any suspicious, like you are not following the rules, we will terminate you from the exam. Okay, all the instruction, all the things you will receive today. But you consider first 5 chapter for the preparation. Okay, any doubt in this one? Any doubt from online? We will give you a link, like it is from Zoom app, or there is having a capacity, maximum capacity is in a Zoom is 100. Okay, and we are having near about 350 to 400 near about students are there, and all are giving the exam continuously. There are 5 to 6 observer are there, okay, on online. So we are prefer Zoom, this Cisco WebEx. This WebEx we are preferring because इसमें ज्यादा लोग accommodate हो सकते हैं, Zoom में नहीं हो सकते. So we will give you the platform, but WebEx पे ही होगा maximum, क्योंकि उसी में सब चीजें, इतने ज्यादा लोग एक साथ देख सकते हैं. ठीक है? Yes, Parth. Any question, Parth? चलिए start करते हैं जो भी हमारा actual. Yeah, so initially it will started with the basic diagram of like a telephone system. Like telephone system क्या होता है? So you are having one telephone, I can say devices at your home. BSNL ने आपके घर पे एक टेलीफोन का बक्सा देके गए. अभी वो कैसे communicate होगा for the rest of the world? So there are a hierarchy of the offices are there. First is considered as a end office, which is connecting a several telephone network into that society. If you have observed this stuff like into the society, there are some rectangular box are there, वो हर एक सोसाइटी के बाहर लगाते थे, उसमें वो टेलीफोन लेके अंदर. If you have not seen this, because you have gone after the mobile is going to arrive, but in the early, what are the stuff is there, like in this telephone communication there are one offices are there. In that office that people are doing the maintenance and checking the lines, whether ये customer को अपना line अच्छे से मिल रहा है या नहीं, all this. So there are one end office is there, which is a simple like a box, which is like a post office, I can say, post box, you can say, like that. Such type of the small boxes situated at the end of your any society or at particular area. Then all the communication, all the data coming to those end offices, or we can say nearby exchange center, it is go to the tandem office. Now what is a tandem office? It is a area office. Like you can see in BSNL in the Rajkot, there are a multiple tandem offices are there. One we can say at our Kotharia Road, another we can say in Lakshmi Nagar Main Road, another we can say on University Road. So we can say these all are the tandem office. So whatever the mobile connection, this telephone connection are there, first come to that office. And from those all the offices, there are one central office is there known as the regional office. The regional office situated over Jubilee Garden. Okay. So we can say there are such type of the hierarchy is there. Regional office, it is connected with the tandem offices, then it is connected with the end offices and we can say local loop are there. What do you mean by trunk over here? Trunk, meaning of trunk is nothing but bunch of cables. Okay, we can say whatever the seven tandem offices are there, so we can say there are a bunch of seven cable. It's considered as a trunk. Okay, so trunk is nothing but bunch of cable connected from one office to another office, and it's a wired communication. It's not wireless for here discussed. It's a wired communication. So cable are there spreading from entire city to do such type of the communication. So in the interlata at local, we can say area telephone kind of the network type of the stuff. Services are provided by the local exchange carrier. Since 1996, there are two type of the LECs are there: incumbent local exchange carrier and competitive local exchange carrier. Now, what is we can say incubated and we can say competitive locating center. Like there are two type of the stuff we have. Either you are communicating internally or you can communicating with the externally. Right now, it is just entire stuff is going to be replaced with the IP phones. If you have heard the name IP phone, whatever the intercom over here in our entire campus, it is related to IP phone. And from that phone, the LAN connection is going to provide it. So it is working on some IP based stuff, so that video and all the stuff you can transmit on with that cabling also. There are two type of the communication is going to be there in this type of the telephone. Either you are doing the in-house, or we can say in-city, or you are doing kind of the external. Okay. At that time, there are the charges are there that I have also explained previously. Whenever you are purchasing any telephone, they will give you one price rate. What is the price rate? If you do the local call, it is a 1 rupee per minute. If you do from local to any other ISD or we can say STD, at that time it is a 3 rupees per minute. Likewise, there is a charge is there. Now, why this charge is going to differ? Because they are connected with the local loop. So, to doing the communication in local loop, charges are going to lower because the same infrastructure is used to do this stuff. But if you're doing a STD or ISD, you need to use the external. So at that time, you need to pay the money for them. Because to connect from Rajkot to Ahmedabad, we required a dedicated cable line from here to there 250 kilometer. So they have connected a 250 kilometer of the cabling from here to there. And to do that, this communication or to do whenever through this cabling the communication is going to establish, they need to recover those costs they have invested for this cabling and for the maintenance. So that's why they are charging more. Like other आप city to city में communicate करते हो, charges are lower. But if you are communicating from here to there, charge is going to be higher. Then this is going to be considered from that. Local is going to consider as from entire, we can say state. गुजरात में ही कॉल करते हो तो लोकल में गिना जाएगा. Here to Maharashtra or you can say Madhya Pradesh, then it's considered as a roaming. Okay, so that span is going to expand, and according to that, charges are going to reduce. And there are several factors are there, competition and all this stuff. Okay, but two type of the stuff is there: internal communication or external communication. So you can say there are a competitive, or we can say incubating, or we can say on the same area you are doing. As I have told you in the LATA, there are several type of the loops are there. So whatever this diagram is, it is for one loop. Like there are from one society, they are having a, you can say there are one society, there are end offices are there, from there are a tandem, toll offices are there, then there is area. But it is not always like that there are only one society. There are a multiple society are there, so we can say there are a multiple end offices are there. They also get connected with tandem office, then it is connected with the regional office. So such type of the hierarchy is going to be followed, and on that end office and tandem office, there are a switching is going to be happen. Now, how the switching happen? There are very good technology behind that. Okay, whenever you dial some number, okay, whenever you dial some number, they will give you one pin code, or we can say, sorry, they will give you a dial code. If you want to dial a call in a Rajkot, what is the area code? 0281. If you want to dial that code into Surat, something will be 0261, something code is there. So what is this 0281, 0261? This code will actually tell you that this particular call is associated with which particular area. So they are having an area code, like if you want to communicate in Rajkot, you need to first dial 0281. So when you dial 0281 from your particular mobile, or we can say from particular your telephone, it will says like that, okay, this particular call is for this local Rajkot only. But if you say like that 0261, so it will directly say like that, no, it is not for Rajkot. It is for the Surat. So I am not going to communicate in-house. I need to go to the regional office, and from the regional office, my call is going to transfer. Now, how your system will get idea? Like ये बंदे ने 0261 type dial किया. So I have explained in the last lecture, there are a DTMF is there, dial tone multiple frequency decoder. So whenever you press this 0281, so there are a frequency combined signal is generated. जैसे ही आप ये डायल करते हो ना, तो ऑटोमेटिकली एक चार सिग्नल, 0 के लिए, 2 के लिए, 6 के लिए, 1 के लिए, ये चार सिग्नल आपकी ऑफिस को मिलते हैं. And according to that initial signal, it will decide that which connection I need to just make it open for this call. And whenever you're going to type this 0, it will open the door. Like आप ऐसा कह सकते हो. If you have seen Takeshi's Castle, have you seen Takeshi's Castle? Okay, there are one game is there. In this game, you need to find out the door. Like there are a blank card that you need to just run, and if that door is empty, you can enter to the next one. This is the same line. When you press the 0, so one of the switching line is going to activate, and it will communicate for the rest of the world. Then you press the 2, so second switching is going to be taken. Then there is a 6, there is a 1. So there are a staircase of switching devices are there. As you are typing this number, those switching center is going to connect it, and they will carry forward your call to the that particular party. Are you getting my point? तो ऐसा नहीं होता है कि लाइक आप फोन उठाओ और डायरेक्टली आप कॉल करना चालू करो. नो, ऐसी सर्विसेज होती है कहाँ पे? आर्मी में. In army, or we can say in some of the cases, you pick up a phone and start talking. You need not to dial anything. It is automatically directly set to that one. But there are a very special type of the stuff. In rest of the case, what you need to do? You need to dial some number. And when you dial that number, your system will identify ये end office को identify करती है कि ये कौन कहाँ पे जाना है, according to those switching going to happen. Okay. So whenever you just pick up the phone first, it will give your status like phone active hai ya nahi. So like such type of the tone will be came. So it will say like that, okay, your line is active. Then you press the number 2, so it will go to that particular first switching center will give that. Likewise, the hierarchical is going to be happen. Same thing is applicable on mobile communication also. अगर आपको इंडिया कॉल करना है, so आगे 091 या +91 लगाइए. अगर आपको यूएस कॉल करना है तो +1 और बाद में कुछ एरिया कोड है. ठीक है, यस. हाँ, वीडियो So these are the different stuff are there, like with respect to this particular area code, how this is going to be connected, what are the switching going to be happen, it is depend on area code. If you have remember like that, they are having some modification in the telephone network. अगर आपको याद होगा, अगर आपको पता है, there are such type of the modification in the in the telephone communication like that. जो भी नंबर आप अभी डायल करोगे BSNL में, आगे आपको 2 लगाना है. You need to dial 2 before any number, so that particular communication will take place. You need to dial the extra 2. Now why this extra 2 is going to be required? पहले 5 डिजिट का नंबर था, आगे 2 लगाने का मतलब क्या हुआ? Like with the 5 digit, what are the number of user you can accommodate? 0, 0, 0, 0, 5 times 0 to 5 times 9, that number of customer. Now customer बढ़ गए. Okay, we can say 19,999 कस्टमर थे. अभी कस्टमर 1 लाख से ज्यादा हो गए, अभी उसको भी कुछ नंबर तो एलोकेट करना पड़ेगा ना. Now how I can allocate the number? If you increase the initial number 2, so entire series is going to be increased from 6 times 0 to 6 times 9. But yes, you are going to increase the number 2, so you can say that overall system is going to be increased by that much of this numbers. So there are as the number of users are going to be increased, as the number of subscribers are increased, there are a different number of series are coming. पहले 9 से ही मोबाइल कम्युनिकेशन का नंबर आता था, अभी 7 से भी आ रहा है, 6 से भी आ रहा है, 8 से भी आ रहा है. Why is it so? Because number of users are increased. And yes, whatever the number that you are having, it is your one unique ID which will communicate to that device through those switching system. Okay. Any doubt in this one? Any curiosity? समझ में आ रहा है? ठीक है, आप देख तो रहे हो इतनी इंटेंशन, हो वाओ, बट कितना दिमाग में आपके अंदर जा रहा है वो मुझे नहीं पता है. पता है सब लोग, इट इज इंटरेस्टिंग और नॉट, ऐसा इट इज इंटरेस्टिंग. आप खत्म करो ना यार, इंटरेस्टिंग ही है. ठीक है चलिए, बट दिस आर द स्टफ. As a computer engineer, as a electrical or as a communication engineer, majority of the time हमको पता ही नहीं है कि भाई मेरे पास ये 10 डिजिट का नंबर है तो क्यों है. How it will give me the identity, why this number is allocated to me, and what happened if I dial this number, actually what happened into the backend system so I can communicate with my friend. ऐसा क्या होता होगा तो मैं ये नंबर डायल करूं तो मैंने like I have communicated with Sunil sir, so Sunil sir is only getting that call, तो सुनील सर की जगह पे दूसरे जगह पे कॉल नहीं जा रहा है. ये बात अलग है कि बीवी ने फोन उठा लिया, गर्लफ्रेंड ने फोन उठा लिया, वो अलग बात है, लेकिन फोन तो सुनील सर का ही है. We can, so don't consider Sunil sir wife. Okay. But I'm saying like that, device is same. What is in a backend side happening so that number is only to that? That's the backend side infrastructure is that called a mobile communication. Yes. Are you taking in a telephone? In telephone, there are a cross call or cross talking are there. Why is it so? Why is it so? Because it is called having a bunch of cable are going to communicate, connected. Okay. So bunch of cable to baju baju mein hoge. And that system, what is used for this communication is an electronic system. Okay. And there are no such separation in the band between all of them. Sometimes what is going to be happen, like you are dialing with some different number and it will just connect it to some another. There are 2 reasons for that from your headset. Like आप ऐसा ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि आप 7 नंबर प्रेस करो तो 7 नंबर के लिए जो फ्रीक्वेंसी जानी चाहिए थी वो हो गया ड्यू टू आपके टेलीफोन की कुछ माल फंक्शनिंग की जगह पे 7 की जगह पे 6 में फ्रीक्वेंसी चली गई, तो आपने डायल किया था 7 बट वो चला गया लास्ट में 6 नंबर के लिए. सो दैट्स गोइंग टू बी अ फर्स्ट क्रॉस टॉक हैपन. ये चीज. दूसरी चीज, जो भी इंटर केबल जा रहे हैं बाजू बाजू में उसका इंटरफियरेंस भी होता है. So sometime it is going to be happen that whenever they are doing a mechanical or such electronic switching, at that time 2 line is going to be switched simultaneously. भाई ये एक लाइन नीचे जानी चाहिए थी, उस जगह पे 2 लाइन पे उसने वो स्विच कनेक्ट कर दिया. अंदर से जो प्रोग्रामिंग है ड्यू टू सम मालफंक्शन, इट इज open the switch to both of them. So it is happened like that, that whatever the call you have targeted is go at somewhere else. So that is going to happen due to interference in a mobile, interference in a cabling or switching problem. While in the mobile, it is, we can say it's not every time it is happening. Rather than you have dialed some wrong number, आप wrong number dial करो तो वहीं पे जाएगा. But mobile communication में ये नहीं होता. क्यों? क्योंकि whenever you are dialing that particular stuff, whenever you are dialing that particular number, and at that time whatever the band is allocated to them, it is very precise. Or there are facilities are there when there are I can say phone directory are coming to the existing. आप फोन डायरेक्टरी में आप नंबर सेव कर सकते हो ना, तो आप फोन डायरेक्टरी से नंबर कॉल करते हो तो ये चीज होने का गलती बहुत कम होता है, स्पेशली इन मोबाइल ऑल्सो, कि आप फोन डायरेक्टरी में ही से ही डायल कर रहे हो तो नंबर डायल सही जाएगा ना, आप खुद टाइप नहीं कर रहे. So that's the one thing. While in mobile communication, whatever the switching systems are there, it is verified. Like whatever the number you are dialed, whether it is existing or not, then it is going to carry forward to them. So in a mobile communication, its chances to crosstalk is very less, as well as it is using that frequency hopping spread spectrum. I have told you in multiplexing and spread spectrum, it's a FHSS. So crosstalk is going to reduce with that one. Security, privacy is going to be there. While in telephone, it is not such type of the possibility. So that's why લેન્ડલાઇન માં પ્રોબ્લેમ થાય, મોબાઈલ માં એવું નહીં થાય તમે આને કોલ કર્યો તો એ જ નંબર માં બીજા કોઈ નંબર માં એવું ક્યારેય નહીં બને. બટ લેન્ડલાઇન માં બને કારણ કે ઓલ્ડ સિસ્ટમ છે, હજી ઇલેક્ટ્રોનિક્સ ગેજેટ થી એનાથી બધું ચાલતું હોય એટલે એડવાન્સ સિસ્ટમ ના હોય. Whatever the mobile systems or mobile communication are, it's totally based upon a networking, we can say very huge or we can say very sophisticated hardwares are there, softwares are there, એના ઉપર આખા એના switching system ચાલતા હોય. Chances are very less. Next is a point of preference. Now what is a point of preference? It is like that by using a which particular network or by using a which particular system you are carry forwarding your call. Okay. So there are local area, we can say there are systems are there, we can say tandem offices, whatever this previous diagram we have seen. It is possible like that such type of the different cities are there. You can say there are different cities are connected with this type of the hierarchy. Now how those cities are going to be connected? Cities are going to be connected through the point of preferences. Now point of preferences, it means to connecting a one particular network, they are having a intermediate devices. You can take an example like that. Let's say you want to communicate to Tamil Nadu. Rajkot to Tamil Nadu you want to. So you can say Gujarat is your LATA, as well as Maharashtra is your LATA, Madhya Pradesh is also your LATA. So you can say through the Tamil Nadu, you are connecting through, let's say, point of preference through Madhya Pradesh. There are another point of preference is there which is connected through the Maharashtra. Okay, so it is possibility like that, depend on the traffic on this particular area or depend on the traffic of that particular city or we can say in a state, there are a switching is going to be happen with respect to this point of preferences. Like आप कॉल गुजरात से महाराष्ट्र से जाके तमिलनाडु भी कनेक्ट कर सकते हो और दूसरा पॉइंट ऑफ प्रेफरेंस आपका ऐसा भी है कि आप गुजरात से मध्य प्रदेश से भी तमिलनाडु कनेक्ट कर सकते हो. So we can say whatever this communication and devices are there, that's considered as a point of reference. मतलब आप गुजरात से दो point of preference से बाकी के network के साथ जुड़े हुए. So if this one side is not going to be work, if there is some traffic is there, we can say there are IXC A network is there, IXC B network is. So if this one network is busy or not having that much of the space allocated, so we can say you can go with another point of preference. So point of preference is nothing but multiple point connect to the multiple network. And why it is important? Because it will allow to communicate from one system or one state to another state or one place to another place if another network is busy or having some maintenance or such type. Okay. So task of data transfer and signaling are separated in a modern telephone network. Data transfer is done by one network and signaling by one network. Meaning of that, whatever the data communication you are doing, like there is just diagram of that. Whatever the data transfer network you are doing or whatever the signaling you are doing, it is going to be a different. Now signaling and data transfer, two things over here that we need to keep in mind. Now telephone is, nowadays telephone is not just used for I can say voice communication. It is also used for इंटरनेट ऑल्सो. आप घर पे बीएसएनएल का कोई केबल लगाओ तो आपको इंटरनेट भी मिलता है ना, और साथ में वो टेलीफोन का एक डब्बा भी आता है. सो वी कैन से एंड दिस इज इंटरनेट सर्विस प्रोवाइडर थ्रू द टेलीफोन सिस्टम. आप टेलीफोन से इंटरनेट एक्सेस कर रहे हो. Whatever the GTPL and all the stuff are there, it is not a telephone network. It is a broadcasting services, or we can say they are, we can say internet service provider. Okay, it is not too much. So both are different. इंटरनेट आपको मिल रहा है बट जीटीपीएल से और उससे एज अ इंटरनेट सर्विस प्रोवाइडर. यहाँ पे ईशान इन्फोटेक है, सो वो इंटरनेट सर्विस प्रोवाइडर है. बट इफ यू एक्सेस इट थ्रू द बीएसएनएल, इट इज अ टेलीफोन नेटवर्क. इफ यू एक्सेस इट थ्रू द वोडाफोन, VI or Reliance Jio, it is a mobile communication. Internet you are getting, but to the different manner. And that is the reason why you want to access the internet. So you can access it through the LAN cable, you can access through Wi-Fi, you can access it through Bluetooth, you can access through the telephone network also. So your communication is a internet. Like आपको internet access करना है, बट फिजिकल लेयर पे वो लैंड केबल भी हो सकता है, वाईफाई भी हो सकता है, ऑप्टिकल फाइबर भी हो सकता है. एंड ड्यू टू दोस डिफरेंट एंड डिवाइसेस, your physical layer having a different type of the signaling technique and all this stuff. This is the overall thing we have. So in a data, in this telephone communication, whatever the data transfer is there, which is handled by the separate network, and whatever the signaling and we can say whatever the voice communication are there, it is handled by the separate communication. Meaning of that, like whenever you dial a telephone or when you do the talk with your friend or with your any relative, it is handled by the one separate network and one separate system. Well, if you access the internet, it is also accessed through the different network and different system. Okay, this are the thing is there separate. There are a SS7 is there, a signaling system 7, which is actually used for this telephone type of the communication. And what are this SS7? There are 4 layers they have shown over here: upper layer, network layer, data link layer, and physical layer. Now, what is the upper layer? Upper layer also having a segregation over here: message transfer, agent MTP level 3 to 1, signaling connection control port, transaction capability application port, telephone user port, ISDN user port. So what is this layers in SS7? It will give you the different services. Like whenever you pick up your headset, initially it is started with the signaling. वो पहले establish करेगा ना connection. यहाँ से लेके वहां तक वो switching करेगा. आप dial तो आप number dial कर रहे हो. According to that number, it will make one permanent connection from you to that place. So whatever that initial message is going to transfer in your system, it is through the signaling connection port. तो उसके लिए उसका पैकेट उसका प्रोफेशन अलग होता है. Once your connection is establishment, then you start with the transaction. Okay, you are just changing the voice between both of them. Then it is handled by the different set of rules. If you are accessing the internet, it will start with the another type of the like it will start with another type of the protocol. Okay, so for the different type of the task, there are a different type of the signaling or different type of the protocol is going to apply. Initial connection establishment के लिए आपके layer में से I can say SSCP and TUP will start. जैसे SSCP TUP ने अपना काम कर दिया, then it is give that stuff to the TCAP transaction con. अगर आप external कोई बाहर के लोगों के साथ बात कर रहे हो, it's a long distance call, then you can say the ISDN user port. So we can say it is gone through that particular set of standard. So such type of the different layer is going to apply whenever you're using a different type of the service. और ये सब जगह पे होता है. Like in a internet also you can relate this layer structure कि आप अपने ब्राउजर से आप वेबसाइट एक्सेस कर सकते हो सिंपल, आप ट्रांजैक्शन कर सकते हो कोई बैंकिंग का, आप वीडियो देख सकते हो, आप फाइल डाउनलोड कर सकते हो, आप मेल कर सकते हो. So we can say these are the different applications are there. whenever there are a different applications, so there are a different standard associated at the application layer. तो जब आप बैंकिंग ट्रांजैक्शन करते हो तो आपका HTTPS लगता है, जब आप फाइल ट्रांसफर करते हो तो आपका FTP लगता है, जब आप वीडियो देख रहे हो कोई सिक्योर कनेक्शन में फिर भी वो HTTPS लगता है. Whenever you sending a email at that time RARP, okay, or we can say UDP, TCP, these are the different type of the layered protocol are there that is used for this communication. Next we have, which is a dial-up modem. We have a 10 to 12 minutes of time, but we will go through that. What is a dial-up modem? Like traditional telephone line can carry frequency from 300 to 3300 hertz, giving them a bandwidth of 3000 hertz. All this range is used for transmitting voice, where the great deal of interference and distortion can be accepted without a loss of intelligibility. Meaning of that, like we can say, if you are giving the 3000 hertz, it is just used to just only to transmit a voice, but there are interference also you need to consider, but less number of interference is also possible if you go with the higher frequency. But what is a dial-up modem? Why we require that? Not limited the same infrastructure just for the mobile communication. If you go with the higher type of the, I can say services, or we can say one step ahead, you can also say like that some of the band you can allocate it for the data communication also. तो आप ऐसा सोच रहे हो कि लाइक आप 24 घंटे तो टेलीफोन उठा के नहीं बैठोगे, अगर आपका नया नया सगाई हुआ है फिर भी आप 24 घंटे तो टेलीफोन पे नहीं बैठे, आप 1-2 घंटे बात करोगे, बाद में तो टेलीफोन रख ही दोगे. Now they have got the idea like this same infrastructure, it is not used 100%. 100% ये इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर टेलीफोन की कभी कभी बात होती है, पीक आवर 9 से 5 बजे तक का है तो मैक्सिमम कॉल होते हैं बाकी के टाइम पे, और वो टाइम पे भी कोई एक बंदा पूरा दिन थोड़ा टेलीफोन पे लगा रहता है. इट्स नॉट लाइक अ स्टॉक मार्केट की हर एक टाइम फोन रिंग है आप उठा रहे हो, सब लोगों का तो ऐसा काम नहीं होता. देयर फॉर देयर रिक्वायरमेंट कम्युनिकेट दे हैव द टेलीफोन. व्हाई द सेम सिस्टम नॉट एप्लीकेबल फॉर गिविंग द इंटरनेट एक्सेस. सो उन लोगों ने क्या किया, जब तक आप वॉइस कम्युनिकेट नहीं कर रहे हो उस टाइम पे आप डेटा एक्सेस कर रहे हो, यू कैन यूज द internet. आप उससे internet service, or you can say there are a dial-up modem are there which will provide you the internet service at that time. So whenever you are having a telephone, there is a two services is given by the that in the same line, data service and telephone service, and it is having a only one thing you can do at a one time. अगर आप फोन पे बात कर रहे हो तो इंटरनेट नहीं चलेगा, अगर आप इंटरनेट पे एक्सेस कर रहे हो तो उस टाइम पे टेलीफोन आपका रखते हैं. मींस प्रायोरिटी इज गिवन टू टेलीफोन. अगर टेलीफोन किसी का बजता है तो इंटरनेट बंद हो जाएगा, टेलीफोन का कम्युनिकेशन चलेगा. जैसे ही टेलीफोन बंद, अगेन डेटा कम्युनिकेशन इज रिज्यूम. सो लाइकवाइज देयर आर अ band is going to given, like some of the band is given for the data. Out of that, the big band of, we can say there are 3000 hertz of the voice band. Out of that, 2400 hertz is given for the data. Okay, so from the same telephone line, now you can access the internet also. It is a slow speed. It's not that much of fast speed in a MBPS. क्योंकि previously तो MBPS का speed देखा ही नहीं था. 1 GB का मूवी डाउनलोड करना है मतलब कि 24 घंटे आप चालू रखो अपना डाउनलोड, तब जाके वो 12-15 kbps पे डाउनलोड होता है धीरे धीरे. तो 1 GB डाउनलोड करना मतलब को हो ही नहीं सकता. 200-300 MB का कुछ वीडियो है तो चक्कर घूमता रहता है, शाम को डाउनलोड में रख के चले जाते हैं, सुबह देखे कब डाउनलोड पूरा होगा. Such type of the thing is there for 200 or 300 MB. But इंटरनेट तो मिला ना, पहले सिर्फ टेलीफोन पे बात करते थे, अभी गूगल भी यूज कर सकते हो, और उसके लिए और कुछ सेटअप नहीं चाहिए, एक ही टेलीफोन लाइन में दिया, और आपका टेलीफोन का बिल है उससे 200, 250, 300 रुपए पर मंथ ज्यादा भरो, अब इंटरनेट भी घर पे एक्सेस कर सकते हो. तो if you are comparing at that time, previously people are only just talking into the phone, and now they are new generation telephone system will say that okay, with the same system you can access the rest of the world also, whatever the speed, but you can access. But that's the new thing, new idea is launched by this dial of telephone. So in modem, they have put a modem to do the modulator and demodulator. उन लोगों ने एक एक्स्ट्रा डब्बा रखा आपके टेलीफोन लाइन के साथ कि जो मॉड्यूलेटर और डीमॉड्यूलेटर करे किसका, ये जो डेटा आप भेज रहे हो उसका. So it will be like this one. Let's say you are not a telephone. Telephone तो आप access कर ही रहे हो, but through this telephone network you are connecting the system also. आप PC, आपका laptop आप अभी connect कर रहे हैं. So obviously from the laptop or PC you are getting which type of the signal? Digital signal. लेकिन आपका telephone line तो एनालॉग पे काम कर रहा है, क्योंकि है तो केबल और जो टेलीफोन सिग्नल आता है AM FM PM उसी में काम करता है. So what you require? You require to convert from those digital signal to analog. So what is the task of this modem over here? Modem will convert that signal from digital to analog. Then it is go to the telephone company, and telephone company having their intermediate network is also having such type of the digital device, क्योंकि वो इंटरनेट के लिए भी स्विचिंग और सब कुछ करना पड़ेगा ना, and that device is also the digital. So again they need to convert those analog signal into digital. It is passed through those internet telephone network, and then it is reached to the another side. Again it is convert from analog to digital, and internet going to access. ठीक है. So likewise the telephone company through this modem and through their one we can say output terminal, they have connected through the rest of the internet. Okay, so this type of the stuff is there where the modulation and demodulation is happened, and now data exchanging is also started along with your mobile communication. That's the new thing we have. It is using a V32 or V32 bits type of the constellation and the bandwidth. Can anybody tell me what do you mean by this constellation diagram? What is the meaning of this constellation diagram? If you know the what do you mean by ASC? Which type of the conversion technique is there? Too high, okay, and your analog signal is also high. Whenever it is a zero, the signal is so. This is the digital to analog conversion. Sorry for that. There is one question is there from Ashish Misra. Sir, the telephone communication is costly as compared to the normal telephone communication. It is depend on that which type of the service provider you have, Ashish. Right now, if you want to buy a, we can say a telephone from BSNL. Now, what they will charge? They will initially they will charge some of the hundreds of rupees for your initial telephone, and 300, 400 rupees you need to pay for that particular box. Okay. Now, then after you need to pay the rent per month, like whatever the rent they have provided, 400, 500 rupees. And if you compare it with the mobile phone communication, so initially you need to buy a headset. आपको मोबाइल चाहिए, आपको आईफोन चाहिए, सैमसंग गैलेक्सी चाहिए, कोई भी फोन चाहिए. अगर आपके पास पैसे नहीं है तो आप पोको, वीवो, ओप्पो लोअर बजट के फोन के साथ भी चला सकते हो. ठीक है, सैमसंग में भी कम पैसे के, बट you at least require the headset. So how we are comparing both of this stuff, it is having a different aspect. बाद में आप सिम कार्ड लगाओ वीआई का, जियो का, तो उसमें भी सब्सक्रिप्शन तो लेना पड़ता है. So overall if you can see, both are going to be equal in price. Okay, but to establish the like to do the establishment of the initial infrastructure, आपको initial infrastructure जब भी setup करना होता है, so at that time we can say mobile communication is going to be very fast and very quickly, and in long term it is a profitable. We have a time, so we'll discuss quickly on that. What is the Jio has done? Jio ने क्या किया initially? Jio has started some around 60,000 or 70,000 crore rupees for initially set up the Jio network into the entire India. उसने 60-70 हजार करोड़ रुपए जब उसके बेटे ने बोला कि पापा मेरे को तो मोबाइल के बिजनेस में आना है, तो बोले चल बेटा 70 हजार करोड़ रुपए लेके जा, जियो बना, पूरे देश में सबको मुफ्त में बांटो. What Reliance has done very wise thing. क्या किया उन लोगों ने? सबसे पहले अपना 60,000 करोड़ रुपए का इन्वेस्टमेंट किया 1 या 1.5 साल के लिए. सबको मुफ्त में फोन बांटो, सबको हाई स्पीड दो, 1 महीने का 1 GB नहीं, 1 दिन का 1 GB. पब्लिक आर वेरी लाइक, अरे वाह वाह क्या मुकेश भाई ने तो भाई मजा करावाई दी थी, मजा આવી ગઈ. દરરોજનું 1 GB, પછી 2 GB 3 GB બધાએ એટલા એડિક્શન કરાવી લીધા. અલ્ટિમેટલી टू डू द सच टाइप ऑफ द कस्टमर सेगमेंट, टू इतने कस्टमर को अपने तरफ अट्रैक्ट करने के लिए वोडाफोन को 20 साल लग गए. ये बंदे ने 1 साल में वो कर दिया. सो जो वोडाफोन ने वो 60-70 हजार करोड़ रुपए 10 साल में थोड़े थोड़े करते इन्वेस्ट करके अपने कस्टमर को अपनी ओर किया, उसने वो एक ही साल में सब ले लिया. So in terms of that, initially it looked like that there are a non-profit, like ये लॉस वाला बिजनेस है मुकेश भाई के लिए. बट अभी सोचिए कि यहाँ पे कितने लोग हैं जिसके पास जियो नहीं है? सबके पास है, मोस्टली 2 to 3 people. बाकी इंटरनेट सस्ता लेने के लिए सब जियो रख रहे हैं. और हाइक देखिए, पहले वोडाफोन अपनी क्वालिटी और सर्विस के लिए जाना जाता था, अभी वोडाफोन में हाईएस्ट नंबर ऑफ कॉल ड्रॉप हो रहे हैं. जियो का टावर आपको कोई एक गांव में मिलेगा, वोडाफोन आइडिया नहीं मिलेगा. सो अल्टीमेटली ही हैज डन देयर कस्टमर सेगमेंट. इतने लोगों को अपने पास बुला लिया 1.5 साल में. अभी चलो 300-400 रुपए पर मंथ भरो. तो जो वोडाफोन फ्यूचर में करने वाला था, ये बंदे ने अभी 1 ही साल में करके वो सबकी दुकान बंद कर दी, सबको डिफॉल्टर बना दिया, मर्जर करवा दिया, और ये अकेला बंदा पूरी दुनिया पे राज कर रहा है, पूरे भारत पे इन मोबाइल कम्युनिकेशन. ये चीज होने वाली थी कब? जब वो दोनों भाई अलग हुए. ये उस टाइम का प्लान था, लेकिन ये रिलायंस कम्युनिकेशन अनिल के पास चला गया, मुकेश के पास, बोला कि मैं बाप का, दादा का, भाई का, सबका बदला लेगा. फिर लाइकवाइज मैं तो एक बार एक कंपनी बनाऊंगा. एंड राइट नाउ जियो इज अ मेन प्रॉफिटेबल बिजनेस इन रिलायंस. सो इनिशियली जब आप ये देखो कि ये कॉस्टली था, यस एट द टाइम इट इज कॉस्टली, बट आफ्टर 2 years इट इज वेरी प्रॉफिटेबल बिजनेस. क्योंकि 2 साल में सब, और अभी ये 5G की बात कर रहा है, 5G हम लॉन्च कर देंगे. अभी वोडाफोन वाले तो वो 4G में जो ये नुकसान हुआ था उसको भरपाई करने में लगे हैं, डिफॉल्टर बन रहे हैं, कोर्ट में नोटिस चल रहा है, सब प्रॉपर्टी जब्त हो रही है. तो ये कहां से 5G लॉन्च करेंगे? Reliance has already started a fiber optic communication everywhere. Soon they will just go on that 5G also. और हम सबको Reliance से एक बात करनी पड़ेगी, अगर आप चाहो या ना चाहो. वोडाफोन आइडिया बंद हो गया, एयरटेल एक है, तो ये इसके पास इतनी ज्यादा पावर नहीं है को रिलायंस. तो if I am thinking after 15 years there are only one way to communication, Reliance में. अगर आप रिलायंस का सिम कार्ड नहीं यूज करते हो तो आप संन्यास ले चुके हैं. दैट सॉर्ट ऑफ स्टफ गोइंग टू हैपन. चलिए सब अपना अगर क्वेश्चन है तो लिखिए, अदरवाइज दैट्स आवर लेक्चर इज ओवर. यू कैन राइट योर एनरोलमेंट नंबर एंड नेम एंड यू कैन गो. यस, TC1 started with last 2 digit 65 26 21 80 81 86 85. Next TC2 कोई नहीं. TC3 3 33 35 15 72 43 44 90 90 19 19 या 90 49 74 48 36 83 69 32 ડન. ચલિए everybody quickly write your enrollment number and name, then you can leave. હા જઈશ. હાજી એટલે સાહેબ આજે નહીં તમારે નવો અપડેટેડ ટાઈમ હા એ કોઈ સેકન્ડ ના ના અપડેટેડ ટાઈમ ટેબલ ફોલો કરજો TC2 TC3 લેબ માટે. લેક્ચર TC1 વાળાને લેબ નથી હવે, એ દરમિયાન તમે બાકીનું પેન્ડિંગ કમ્પ્લીટ. TC1 વાળાને લેબ નથી, TC2 TC3 ને તેના નવા ટાઈમ ટેબલ પ્રમાણે લેબ હશે ગુરુવારે અને શનિવારે.